it's important to do your research. It's important to ask the necessary questions before you assume a position. Okay? Get in there and find out what really happened. Not what you heard happen, but what really happened. And before you blame or cast blame onto anyone, know the truth. Educate yourself on the truth, not on what your emotions have told you. Okay? Welcome back to another moment with joy. You guys, I'm so grateful that you joined me again for another moment. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. There's a ton of content waiting for you to indulge in. Okay? So once this video is over, please go to my page, press subscribe, and start watching. Life-changing stuff is going on over here. Okay? I thank each and every one of you for tuning in. We get to share time and we get to share space together yet again. Today, a lot of us are identifying ourselves as curse breakers, where in our families, the generational curse stops and ends here. And with that energy comes a lot of passion, comes a lot of zeal, and there's a lot of sternness and directness when it comes to we are no longer going to subject ourselves to teen pregnancies in our family. Marriage is not lasting in our family. Different generational curses, and I don't even want to call them curses. Different generational things that happen within our families are no longer going to happen because we are going to bring a stop to them. We're going to shed light on our family trauma. We're going to shed light on the things that hurt us as children growing up. We're going to bring to light all the things. We're going to bring to light all the things that no longer serve us, and we don't want to hold on to them anymore. And that is what millennials are doing these days. You guys are coming and you're like, no, this stops here. And that's a powerful place to be in. And I was speaking at an event with college students. I got the opportunity to speak at EBC Vibe, y'all, and it's dope. Go follow them at EBC Vibe. If you do not know, that is VIBE. V as in victory, IBE. EBC Vibe invited me out to talk to their college students, and I was talking about mental wellness and the importance of that in 2023. And one of the students asked me a question, and she said that she wanted to address her family about their family trauma. And when she does it, they're not receptive. They deflect and everything. And a lot of times when we get deflections or our family isn't responsive, it could be for a number of reasons. And this episode today, I want to give you a few things to do before you address your family of their trauma. Before you go to mom, before you go to dad, before you go to your uncle, before you go to your auntie, there are a few things that I want you to do, and there are a few things that I want you to take into consideration before you enter into this new era. Because the passion that you show, the zeal, the consistency, the persistence that you show can come off as anger. And in many cases, it does. Because our parents and the people that have raised us and showed us the best way that they could are very sensitive beings. Okay? So I'm going to give you ways to approach this situation the best way I think possible. And I hope that you apply these to your situation when you're the curse breaker in your family and you telling the devil no. Okay? Or you just don't want to see a same toxic pattern continue to your children. So you're going to stop it now. Okay? This is what I want you to do. Before you address your kinfolk, honey, reflect on your own feelings. I need you to sit with yourself, and I need you to reflect on your own feelings about the trauma that you have been facing in your experience, okay? So you're not going to reflect on dad's feelings. You're not going to reflect on mom's feelings. You're not going to reflect on your brother's feelings. You're going to reflect on you. Reflecting on these feelings allows you to feel the emotion arise, to deal with it in the moment, and to process it, to get it under control. Because before you step in this room with your parents or your family to tell them about the trauma that the family has been facing, you can't go in there sideways, and your emotions can't be in control of you, okay? You have to pay attention to your emotions and allow the space for you to be more compassionate, okay? When you feel your emotions and they hurt, what happened was horrible. What's happening is horrible. You really want to get rid of it really bad. And so does the other party, I'm sure. And even if they don't want to get rid of it as bad as you do, have a little patience and have a little grace. Reflect on your feelings first. And in that reflection, this second step is to educate yourself about the specific trauma. Okay? We're going to educate ourselves. What does that look like, Joy? What is educating myself on the specific trauma? It's important to understand the specific trauma and its effects on each individual in the family that you're addressing, because it's not only affecting you. Although you're the person in the front, like, we're killing this today, remember that the trauma is different for everybody, okay? Normally, the curse breakers, and I keep saying that because that's what they call themselves these days, they are the babies of the bunch, the ones that came last, the ones that are not standing for the mess, okay? And 9 times out of 10, I'm not even going to put a number on it. Most times, they got a piece of the story that won the whole story. And it's important to do your research. It's important to ask the necessary questions before you assume a position, okay? Get in there and find out what really happened. Not what you heard happened, but what really happened. And before you blame or cast blame onto anyone, know the truth. Educate yourself on the truth, not on what your emotions have told you, okay? So we're going to reflect on our own feelings before we approach our family, and we're going to make sure we are educated on the trauma and the matter at hand, okay? The next thing you need to do before you approach your family about this trauma, choose the right space and choose the right time. This is important. This is important. You need to choose a safe space. Create an environment where everyone feels safe and comfortable. And you consider, and please, please, please consider your family members' schedules. And please consider their emotional and mental state. All of this goes into play before you do what you're about to do. Please don't walk in there unprepared, okay? You need to choose the right time, meaning you sat with everybody, you've asked, you've inquired, hey, when is the best time for us to sit down and talk about this? How are you feeling about it? Do you have any reservations? Make sure people are open. And once they notice that you're shining love and light, they may be more inclined to meet and talk and discuss. Okay? So you want to make sure that the emotional state of your family members is on your list of concerns and considerations. Okay? So that safe place is so important, because not most times when families dealing with a trauma, someone feels unsafe. Someone feels like they need to be protected. Someone feels like the black sheep. So please be considerate. That passion can look like confrontation quickly. So be considerate. Get yourself together. Okay? That's what we do when we reflect on our feelings. You're going to get your emotions together. You're not going to come in like the sergeant. You're not going to come in telling people what you feel. Me, this what it is. You reflected on your feelings alone before you got there. And now your emotions are intact, so you can approach this the best way. We are going to create safe spaces for our family members to feel safe. Don't go to a restaurant, because a lot of people have these important conversations at restaurants. You really can't be yourself and expect someone else to be open inside of a restaurant where other people can hear their business. So go somewhere. If y'all need to book an Airbnb just for a healing retreat with the family, do that. Have you some good food, and I mean some nice greenery food, some stuff that's gonna keep those spirits high. Okay? Because talking about trauma is never easy. It is very hard for people to do, but it's possible. And there are so many great results once we shine light on what hurts us. Okay? So we're gonna choose the right time and the right space before we invite our family out. Okay? The next thing you need to do is be sensitive. Okay? Our parents did the best they could with what they had and what they knew. They did what they had to do. And all parents weren't perfect. I know some parents, some people have a different story. My parents were great. My parents were amazing parents, okay? But when we deal with problems and issues that, as children we think are issues, and we experience life totally different from how our parents totally experienced it, right? We have to be sensitive enough to know that everybody experienced the trauma differently. You have to make sure that you're prepared to listen, actively listen with compassion and openness. And you are going to be able to sit in the seat of understanding that everybody felt this differently. There are going to be different perspectives. There are going to be different opinions outside of my own. And the trauma that I feel so deep that I need to break may be broken easier if I had the help of the people around me. Okay? So don't push them off with your anger, with your overly passionate self. Be sensitive so you can get the help of everybody to break this curse with you. Okay? Because it's nothing but joy on the other side of it if you approach it well. And joy for you. Okay? So we're going to be sensitive, we're going to be sensitive, we're going to be sensitive, and we're going to show compassion, because everyone in the room has experienced this trauma in their own way. Probably stories that you don't even know about. And in a safe space, you can get the knowledge that you need to move forward. Okay? The next thing you need to do is, baby, prepare. Prepare what you want to say. Preparing what you want to say keeps our emotions intact. This helps you prepare your body language. This helps you prepare the words that you're going to use, choosing to use the right words. This helps you be honest, and it helps you pick out what's important, what you need to say, and the little jabs that we normally say when we heat it, we don't need to say. And writing it down, practicing what you need to say before you get there, so we just go to the matter, not the conditions, but the matter. And we are solution based. That's going to help us, okay? When you're prepared, prepare what you want to say before you get there, okay? And when you're preparing what you want to say, make sure in your honesty that you're not being judgmental. Try your best to not be judgmental. If you read back and if you heard that to you, it would feel like somebody was judging you. Let's just try to find a better way to say it. That's what the writing down, preparing our talk is for. Okay? Because we want to make sure that love is leading in this. Okay? So we're going to prepare what we want to say. We're going to come in the room ready, prepared to serve and love. And in that, because some people may think, well, what about me? What about how I feel? You're going to get what you need when you release what you've been holding. Okay? So don't worry about what you need in the beginning. We're trying to help everyone that came before you break a habit of holding on to trauma that they possibly don't think they could have help for. Because back in the day, it was what? Whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Y'all better not go outside of this house telling our business. And now we got a young millennial who's like, the business needs to be exposed because we got to kill it. That's not easy for everybody. So be patient. And once you create a safe space, the same guard that they've built up all the 60 years that they've been alive is not going to be broken down in one setting. They need time. Okay? And if they do break it down in one setting, that is a blessing. Be grateful for that. Okay? So we're going to prepare what we want to say, and we're going to be sensitive while we're doing it so we're not hurting the person that we're trying to help. Okay? One more thing that you need to do is seek support. Life coaches are dope facilitators and mediators when it comes to this. So if you need a life coach in the midst of that, go get one. Go find someone that you trust that can help mediate and be a voice for you when maybe what you're feeling or saying may not come across the right way. They may have a better way to say it. Vice versa for your family members. If they need to say something, if a person is there that's not clouded by the conditions, they just are there to bring solutions, I promise you they will have a great word for you. Okay? So we're going to seek support, and we're not going to expect anything from your family. You're going in to address the trauma, to shine light on the trauma so we can change it. Okay? So don't expect any sort of outcome. So I'll say that. Don't expect any sort of outcome. Don't have it in your head, they're going to say this, they're going to do that, they're going to accept that. Oh, that's going to make them feel this way or that. You never know. Some family members may get it, some may not. Some may be on board with you and changing, some may be like, ain't nothing wrong. Don't have an expectation of how they will respond. The only expectation you need to have is that you'll be free. You'll feel lighter. You're starting the journey of breaking habits that are bad. You're starting the journey of changing the livelihood of your bloodline. Okay, so that comes with responsibility to love, to nurture, to care for the people that came before you. They need the same patience and the same, because trauma weighs on all of us. And just because they're not speaking about it the way that you are and bringing it to the forefront the way that you are doesn't mean that it doesn't trouble them or they don't want to. They just don't know how sometimes. They weren't taught how to do it. Okay? So be sensitive. Don't let your passion come off as anger. Show them the bright side. Show them what happens after. And the way that you could do that is you be the example. If you're always angry and you always mad when you come around, nobody's going to believe that healing can occur. But if you go around and you're love and you're light, and when you show up, they know that peace just entered the room, they'll be more inclined to lend their ear to you and pour their heart out to you. And that will take time, but stay the course. Stay the course. We want to see our parents happy. We want to see them live free. We don't want to see them stressed out, and I get it. But be gentle, be kind, and be compassionate, and have empathy. Okay? So before we go to our family members about the trauma that we have experienced, we are going to what? We're going to reflect on our feelings. We're going to take some data. We're going to get our emotions under control before we approach our family about this trauma. We're going to educate ourselves on the trauma. We're not going to go on what Uncle told us, so this what happened, and this what happened, and this what happened. No, we're going to go get the truth. We're going to get the truth. Before we confront, we're going to know what we're confronting, okay? That's what happens when you educate yourself on the specific trauma and its effects on everybody connected to it, okay? We're going to create space, and we're going to create a safe place, and we're going to make sure that the time is right, meaning we have talked to everybody. Is this a good day for you? How are you mentally? How are you emotionally? Because what we're talking about today may be a bit heavy. So here's a trigger warning. We're preparing people for what's going on, and you're letting them know that this is solution based, and I'm only here for solutions, for great outcomes, for a healthy mental life. Okay? We are going to be sensitive. We are going to be sensitive. We're going to recognize that the family members, our older family members, even the younger ones, everybody has feelings. Everybody has emotions. Everybody is feeling something. Be sensitive. Don't be mean. Nurture and lead with love, okay? We're going to prepare what we're going to say. We're going to be ready. We're not going to go in there, I remember when you said no. Remember, write it down, and be ready to address it, okay? We're going to seek support. If you cannot do it by yourself, get help. And before you actually do it, it's best that you talk to a coach to run these things back down to you so we're in the game properly, mentally there, clear, not foggy. Okay? So we're going to seek some help. If we need a coach to come mediate, get it. You need some security, have it. Whatever makes you feel safe. Okay? No expectations from responses. Do not expect a certain response. Do not expect a certain response. The only thing that you need to expect is to be free. To be free. Freedom is the goal. Not just for you, but for everybody that comes after you. And hopefully the ones that came before you can grab onto this gift of freedom too. But if they don't, if they choose not to, that has nothing to do with you. Don't hold on to that. Let it go. And work on getting rid of the bad pattern in your life. And once they see that it works for you, I promise, once they see the joy that you carry, the light that you carry, how you always nurturing, how you're always loving, they're going to want some of that. And if they don't, oh well. Nothing you can do about it, baby. So that is what I will say to the people who are approaching their family in this season. It is a tough job, but it's very rewarding. So it's important for us to do some introspection before we dive into this journey, because lives are at stake, mental states are at stake, y'all. So let's not just jump into this just because carelessly. No, care about it, okay? So today, I hope this has helped you before we go tackle this issue. Okay, and I hope that each of you get what you want and desire out of this. And I pray that what you want is your freedom, not someone else's. Because you need that for yourself. Okay? So I hope this helped. If it did, subscribe, leave a comment, share with 2 people, and I will see you every Thursday at 9 o'clock right here. Peace.